Ricky Desktop, what I mean? Burn it down on a loud pad. Making every rapper mad cause about that. Take another fucking dab, yeah, I doubt that. Get high rapper, yeah, I'm really about that. Clout, I doubt y'all can top that. Gum slapping all of a sudden. Yeah, it's like a track where your mouth stay running. Me, I pull a marathon smoking on something while my lungs getting better, call it Benjamin Button. Never smoking on the face shit. Never asking for no money on the case shit. Grinding harder every day, I'm on my Drake shit. Everything I'm putting out, I be the flake shit. When I'm flowing, everybody gonna know that everything that I be putting out, I'm doing all my damn self. Good weed, good drink is all I need to get another album in it. We just speaking for its damn self. 13 kind of weed is what I keep on me at any given point. It's like my plug is a damn elf. When I wake up every morning, I can go outside and focus on a special package. Everyone is top shelf. I'm a beast from the east, coming Bigelow. Use a hoe for the clout, I'm a gigolo. You a clown in the game, juggalo. I'm the man in this thing you already know. Are you hear what I'm saying? I'm annihilating anyone who thinks that don't be better than my damn self. Me and Ricky been a banger, now the world is gonna know who run the game, and I can promise it's my damn self. Get high, rapper, yeah, to be the name. So if you think you know me, man, you better check up on your fucking facts. You should get up on your chair, brush your hair, make a TikTok, watch it fun so I can prove the fucking facts. You already know.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
In a world full of mundane podcasts, one show rises from the ashes. Critics are calling it outrageous. Podcasts, as we know it, will never be the same again.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Welcome to the show.
Tonight, prepare for an epic journey where every step could be your last. The destination, a place where no maps can show. The mission, to rise above the rest. The danger, unimaginable. The reward, a shit ton of weed and laughs. It's going to blow your mind. This is 2 Be Bloods. So sit back, turn up the volume, grab your weed, get ready to light those bloods. Prepare.
That's right. You are tuned in to the highest podcast each and every Thursday. It is To Be Blunt, brought to you by PodConX, America's largest cannabis-only podcast network. And, of course, the PartyCast network, where the fun starts here. Joining me, my co-host, Porno Lou and Madam Kristen.
Hey!
Wow, we're just getting right into her, huh?
Just jumping right in.
Wow.
Tonight, we have a huge lineup tonight. Joining us, we're going to have Tyler from Ripple Wellness. He's going to be on the show. One of the first to receive a license here in Connecticut for cannabis. And of course, the main event. High Time Zone Director of Events and Competitions, Mark Kazinec. live here later tonight around 7:30. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned in. It's going down tonight. And the chat is, of course, already popping. I already see that everybody's getting hyped up tonight. Albos in the house. What's up, everyone? I love it. Cannabis enthusiast says, hey on YouTube. I like that. Charles, Lou Jeremy. Oh. Any relation to Ron? My pants.
Hey now.
And of course, we're live on Instagram. Ken's up in the building control. Fozzie is nice. Dr. Dimples in the house. 860. You already know. Facebook user says the packs are loud. The packs are loud, but the weed in my blood's even louder. I'll tell you that. That is a guarantee. So make sure you guys are ready. Grab your weed. It's about to go down. The laughs are not stop right here. It is 2B Blood, baby.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. I'm ready to fucking whoop some ass.
I love the energy. Love it.
We are live. Appreciate all y'all tuning in right now. I see if you're on Instagram, make sure you guys head over to Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. It's going down today. I got Porno Lou in the fucking house. Where the fuck is Donna Taylor is what I want to know, because usually Donna's already
hey, fucker.
She's already here, right?
I saw her.
You can always count on Donna Taylor. Coco says, what up, Peezy, Lucy, Roman? What is up, everybody? I'll tell you what is up. I don't want to waste any more time. I got to light this fucking blood. What's louder, the weed or Peezy? Debate. Up for debate.
Should put that to a vote.
I wish I could find the other
Poll.
We need to put like a poll feature in here. In the blood, I got fried apples, pure Michigan crossed with apple fritter. Wow, I light this shit up. So make sure you grab your weed, you concentrate your edibles, whatever you got, and get ready to smoke it if you got it. All right, that's what we needed. Let's get smoking. Exactly. Exactly what I needed. Smoking kosher Mac. Let us know in the chat what you guys are smoking. That's my co-host, but I already know they don't know. So let me know what you guys are smoking in the chat.
Lucy,
Not smoking, but
feel free to
some
feed me anytime.
infused mac and cheese and pulled pork.
Sounds
Wow.
banging.
Wow. Listen, Lucy.
How do I order that?
I'm gonna give you Kristen's address off air so you can bring her a plate, you know, because she loves getting those free plates, so she can do Madame Porno Thug Nasty.
Today I learned.
Am I Thug Nasty?
Thug Nasty. Thank you so much for that.
And that completes the trio. That completes
No, I got a
the trio.
nickname, Thug Nasty Peezy, Porno Lou, and Madam Kristen.
Thug Nasty.
Root beer GMO. I've never actually heard of that strain.
Perfect.
Root beer GMO. Cherry pie. Yeah, cherry pie. I had some banging cherry pie last week from Silly Girl Farm. Shout out Silly Girl Farms and Green Ghost, who hooked me up with the sample of their cherry pie, along with a bunch of other awesome goodies. And I can't recommend any of those two enough, y'all. I'm telling you, Green Ghost hooked it up. I got a fucking peanut butter cup. He has these fucking juices he makes called Haterade, which I love the name. And I tell you what, I drank half that shit and I was fucking wrecked.
Untouchable in the edibles game. I'm just gonna say it. Untouchable.
Green Ghost?
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire, dude. And
S
I really
tier. S plus tier.
I just want to give a big thank you actually for hooking it up, because that shit fire. And now we gotta celebrate a little bit. We're gonna celebrate. Bet you're asking why. And I just want to let you guys know exactly why. You see, overtime overtime. My man, Lou here. Also, as you can see on IG, known as CTMMP Data. Over the last week, thanks to Donna Taylor, has gone through somewhat of a transformation from CTMMP Data to full-time Porno Lou. And in fact, I'm gonna make sure we can get this right here real quick. Sorry, Lou, that I have to do this to you. There we go. That's better.
He's not sorry at all.
Just want to make sure his name says Porno Lou, instead of
Okay. Wow.
Dude, I mean, this should have been done anyways, right? So
There
Donna
it is.
Taylor has dubbed Lou Porno Lou, and this is now going to live on probably forever at this point as Porno Lou. So I just want to say we are celebrating. We are happy. This new persona of Lou with this sexy voice that Donna Taylor says he has, and his brand new career in narrating pornos. That is going to be
difference
going
a
on.
mic makes, huh?
Yes.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
So I wanted to, in the spirit of the celebration, I wanted to give you guys some fresh new music that we're going to debut right now in celebration.
Yeah,
of
take
Lou
another one.
becoming Porno Lou. If you guys wouldn't mind probably muting, this is going to be the time. But this is going to be great. Here you go, Lou. This is for you, brother.
Smoking weed, oh, it's so loud. You like to laugh at me before I blow out clouds. Sometimes it's sexy, and you wonder why. Cause Donna Taylor said so, she don't tell no lies. There's nothing I can do. So call me Porno Lou.
This is going to be amazing. I can't wait.
You look at me, you wanna have your way. I'll roll another joint before we start foreplay. I won't dance, no, I don't sing. I'll seduce you with my voice, cause that's my thing. There's nothing left to do. So call me Porno Lou. You can't call me a fool. Call me Porno Lou. Put on a little Peezy when I take a dab. I say the straight tastes great. You ask me what I meant. Said I smoked some Gary Payton. Did a little light love making. Every time she's with me, it's a porno. And it came to me, there's nothing I can do. So call me Porno Lou. Oh, there's nothing I can't do. They call me Porno Lou. Every dream I dreamed is blue. They call me Porno Lou. When I'm smoking, I feel cool. Call me Porno Lou. Sometimes I wonder, will it ever end? Every night a different girl that's sleeping in my bed. Some call me crazy, then you wonder why. Don't do relationships, I'm not a one-chick guy. There's nothing you can do. So call me Porno Lou. Yeah, these balls are never blue. They call me Porno Lou. You can't play me for a fool. call me Porno Lou. So call me Porno Lou. They call me Porno Lou. So call me Porno Lou. The laughs are non-stop. It's TV Bloods with Peezy. To B Blood.
It was beautiful.
This is my new favorite single, guys.
Wow, man. Wow.
Is that maybe not the greatest song you've ever heard in your goddamn life?
You put a lot of work into that thing, man. I'm impressed.
The air guitar, like that was
Wow.
solid performance.
Full blown committed to Porno Lou. I was committed, bro.
He was
committed.
thinking about you and wrote you a song.
I mean,
that's some shit.
And that just also shows you the power of Donna Taylor. I mean, with 2 words,
You
she
have
put a
created
man to
all
work.
this.
Ghost Rider? No. I
Where
wrote
the
that
fuck
shit
do I
myself.
download that?
I wrote that shit over the last like 3 days. Okay. It was Lou's idea. It was a joke in a group chat that I turned into an actual thing. I just with
The kids call it manifesting.
download this shit. I tell you what, Durf and Dylan, I will load this shit on YouTube after the show for you guys to play as you damn want, because this is maybe the greatest thing I've ever written before. No fucking lie. I think we might have to play it again at the end of the show to close out the
Oh my god! It just kept ascending.
It's just when you thought it was honestly going to be over, it just kept getting better.
It just kept getting better.
And then you saw how I hit the harmony at the last verse and everything else.
He hit the paddle shifters and he just took off, man. That's it.
It was on G-O go. I was ready, yo. I was ready. So if anyone out there thinks that I don't got it anymore, let me tell you, you're full of shit.
Yo, he put it together in like 2 days. Like, no shit. Unbelievable.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure the IG froze too, so hopefully everybody's
I mean, in fairness, you do tell them to get the hell off the platform, so
well, I mean, they should get off the platform, you know. the B Journey says, the JB Journey actually says, play it again. Play it again. All hail Peezy. Play it again. Just measure up Porno Lou.
Bandcamp release. I love it.
We could do a Bandcamp. Listen, I could put it on all the platforms.
Shout out to my buddy Alex in California. Thanks for tuning in, bud.
Porno Lou.
Now it's acapella. It's even...
I can do the acapella. I don't listen. There was no auto tune on that shit. I
fucking shit.
I nailed it.
Wow, man.
That was amazing.
For the JB Journey, we'll play it again, but not quite yet. We're gonna need like a little bit of a break.
You got to call your local radio station and request it.
Yo, I'm saying, listen.
Be careful what you wish for. That shit.
Just anything like that, honestly, would be perfect. So, Porno Lou, brand new single, woo, to be released out on YouTube in just a little bit.
Just in time for the holiday season, folks. You can put it in your stockings.
Exclusive. Right. Exclusive. Speaking of exclusive, Lou, you got any good news in the cannabis world, bro?
Well,
let me hear your music real quick.
Oh yeah, there it is. That'll make your bull run. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here today on this election week, following up on some key stories from Tuesday evening. In Maryland and Missouri, they legalized adult use cannabis.
Maryland and Missouri, huh?
Yes. However, Arkansas and the Dakotas both gave it the Bozak.
Bozak?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
They said no thanks.
What goes on in Dakota that like they wouldn't want recreational cannabis?
I figured Arkansas, man, the land of one-story buildings, like you know, you gotta do something. You know, let them have some fun. You know, let them enjoy themselves. But anyway, the good news, the silver lining here, is that the ones who actually did it, the two who did it, Maryland and Missouri, they both did it in a way that automatically triggers like resentencing and expungement stuff. And, you know, you don't have to like jump through hoops. Basically, it's an automatic kind of thing. Like they're going to do the work. You don't have to do it. So that's good at least. And, you know, it reminds you that here in Connecticut, you know, we're still eagerly awaiting the eventual opening of the adult use market, which we've been assured so many times was going to happen by the end of this year.
Right.
But time keeps on slipping. so, you know, there's been a little bit of friction around the whole process of licensing. You know, there were some folks who got denied and banded together as part of, you know, legal action in response to that. And it's a similar situation to how it happened in Illinois. But, you know, through the process of that playing out, the decision was made to give them a chance to, you know, make the application look more like, I guess, there's no way they could have known it was supposed to look. It's some like ridiculous paradox thing, but
God, that sounds confusing.
clerical errors, basically. I don't know. It's bureaucratic bullshit, basically, is what it is. But
of course,
one of the winners, I guess, one of the licensees, the beneficiaries of that whole process, is here to join us this evening.
Oh,
Segue of a life.
Welcome.
Well done.
Welcome. Welcome, Tyler from Ripple Wellness. It's great to have you here, man.
And muted.
And muted. It's so good to have you muted.
How we doing, guys?
What's going on, dude?
Not too much. It's good to meet you guys, and yeah, hopefully talk some shop.
So congratulations, obviously, is in order. You're one of the first few to get a license here in Connecticut, right?
I genuinely appreciate that. So there's technically that may be too soon. However, we're awarded our provisional status. That license is not physically in hand, but it will be pending the approval of our background checks. So there's maybe a few pieces in play before we can waive the official formality, but the approval as of last week definitely confirmed that, yes, we still are in the races. Yes, the likelihood of us entering the market is 100% at this point. We just need to jump through one or two more hoops that the state's kind of laid out for us. So we're hoping to get through with that shortly and formally be one of Connecticut's first cannabis companies.
Couple I's to dot, couple T's to cross, and there you go. So this is maybe the first time a lot of folks in Connecticut have heard the Ripple name. You know, to someone coming in completely cold, you know, how do you describe the vision? You know, how do you tell us, you know, what really is the essence of Ripple?
So Ripple Wellness is a company that myself and my partner in life, Katie Smigelski, have started up here in Maine back in 2016. It's kind of the magnum opus or culmination of my life's work and venture through cannabis, prohibition, legalization, kind of all ends of the spectrum of what we today know as cannabis, what you knew as cannabis 10 years ago, what the Connecticut cannabis landscape was like over that time. And my ultimate life goal after being detained and imprisoned in Connecticut for possession, intent to distribute.
God damn.
Back in, early, I want to say 2010, but my reference point might be a little off there. But essentially, after being released from prison down in Connecticut for cannabis and being born and raised in Connecticut, my life goal was essentially to come back with in the legal landscape. Shortly after getting released from Hartford County Correctional, I made the full-time commitment and moved to California, strictly to just stay out of trouble as a youth. Really, I was in and out of the system in Connecticut since I was 13 years old. I was juvenile courts, probations, adult. I was 18. I was charged and held in Hartford. So that is pretty much the driving factor to come back to Connecticut. The reason I left was cannabis. It's been really the one thing that spoke to me throughout my lifetime, something I was super passionate about as a young child, something that getting hands-on and cultivating maybe earlier than most, just through a generational process. But at 12 years old, putting my hands in the soil, nothing else felt more right than that. And being able to bring this all back and kind of this last 10, 12, almost 15 years now of just brain power towards cannabis back to my friends, my family, and the communities in Connecticut that we ultimately left for this plant is a pretty incredible feeling, and hopefully will be a really incredible experience for not just everybody involved on the Ripple side, but everybody in Connecticut that gets to be a part of this Ripple here.
How did you manage to compete with these large corporations, man? I mean, that's impressive, right? That you got in when the competition was stiff, very stiff. It was almost absurd. There was very little chance a lot of people had to even get approved for the license. So that's what I'm saying. Going into this mentally, what was like the game plan in your head when you knew you were going up against these giant companies?
When I got released from prison in Hartford, I told everybody who meant anything to me that we're going to do this legally and correctly because I believed in cannabis. And at the time, the only place where cannabis was legal was California. Going out there and seeing the landscape in the early 2008, 2009, kind of as the San Francisco Bay Area and NorCal became popular influences in a global cannabis scene, I realized I was almost late to the party then and up against the biggest hitters. So to get our products into dispensaries out there in the Bay Area back in 2008, 2009 was virtually a similar process. Although the gates may have been open, the popular names were established, they were renowned. And, one day it sounds crazy, but I ran into this kid on the side of the street outside of Music Festival in Santa Cruz. He was giving away these free tickets to anybody who didn't have a ticket to go inside. I thought it was the coolest shit ever, gave him some bud. He turns out he was a cultivator up in NorCal, somebody I had actually looked up to, had followed their social media, he had a reputable name in the industry back then. And it's just kind of like this ironic lines. And he was like, oh, I love what you're doing because you appreciate me. Come back, let's smoke some weed, let's get to know each other. And at the time I was making kind of concentrates and BHO and had a little indoor grow, had our thing going in Rhode Island, a little bit in Connecticut, a little bit in California, but just exploring cannabis on a really small scale because we were passionate about it. And I busted out a little jar of oil or a sheet of slab, whatever, in front of this kid was Brendan. He currently owns a company, Third Gen Family Farms. Super influential person to me. He's been super humble, really rewarding with knowledge. But long story short, back then, 2009, he took a dab of that oil and said, hey, where can I buy this out in California? So, dude, what are you talking about? Like, this is just what we do, our little small thing. He said, no, this is good. You got to put this on the shelf. Go to Harborside, go to Spark, go to these dispensaries. Tell him Brendan from Boo Boo's Bubble, because it was before Third Gen Family. Said, Brendan sent you. Tell him, plug him in. So I did. It gave me the encouragement that big money, big names might be the big thing, but at the end of the day, you put something you love up to the table and you try again, it'll work out, and walking into Harborside, maybe a month later, bringing some of our outdoor harvests, what we were growing out in California, put on the shelves next to some of, the world's biggest names, really gave me that boost in confidence I needed to just say, through the thick and thin, we're sticking in this. And so fast forward to Connecticut, seeing the concept of legalization and just the topic of it getting on our ballots and being put into the playbook there last year, maybe it was the year before even, after having my experience up here in Maine since 2015, just really getting a feel for the total white market, the legal landscape, and seeing how maybe the big players, which are some of the same companies down in Connecticut, how they operate, and kind of learn from their predatory tactics without being a predator. And one of those things was their political presence in the legal landscape. Their lobbying efforts up here in Maine are scary. Every single political session, the big corporate giants are out to get us caregivers. That's intimidating here and really set the mark for how I saw Connecticut going. So the second legalization became reality, the goal for us was entering that market. Through reading all of the drafts and topics and the bill itself, realizing how slim those channels really were, it was more analyze the only opportunities and the only avenues and pursue them. So, we had a lobbyist secured and a law firm secured as soon as the bill was drafted and released. We were eager to stay on top of any change, any drafts, just really trying to be up to date was really it, and just highlighting any misconceptions or gray area in language and attacking them both publicly, myself, my channels through the social equity council or whatever it may be on their public levels, but then also as these big dogs do, we hired our lobbyists and had our firm kind of attack the same questions like dogs. It's just, we're not giving up on this one. And that's the only way we were able to even compete and be this little drop in the bucket here. And the competition in my eyes is really just starting. All we've done is been able to qualify for the race. And some of these big guys, I think, they have a whole different perspective on what cannabis really is and what they want to see out of the market in Connecticut, and kind of what legalization should be. And I think our initiatives, our motive, our business ethics, the way we operate doesn't parallel that, and hopefully will set us apart. So although we had to attack it like dogs on the political structure and really get involved knee deep with the lobbying firm and with the proper law firm that had the right familiarity, and we searched, far and wide, and really weighed all options before making any decision in every aspect, and really knew time was of the essence. So all of the guys, whether they've traded or sold part of their company, they've put a lot of effort into making sure they were also at the forefront of at least the kind of shit show that is, Blue said it best, the bureaucratic shit show that is right now the Connecticut legalization landscape. It's been very difficult to answer any questions. It's been very difficult to really just get a straight answer on anything. So we've really just tried to make our presence known basically in the state house at the representative level, and really try to just spread the awareness of what we're trying to do and why. And that's really helped connect some influential dots. To be honest, Lou just sharing and being the wealth of information he has been through his social media channels and the CTMMP data, that truthfully has helped me navigate a lot of important details, or maybe shined light on things that didn't make sense. So instead of maybe attacking a social media presence, I saw what Lou said and I passed it along a channel that was totally different from his reference point to get the state's perspective. Sometimes it would clear up a gray area. Other times it would show very clear intent, maybe is the best word for their policies or procedures. But I think just really focusing all of our energy for the last 18 months on this project and just really on last week's news was the only way we've been able to stay even this close to in the races. And, I think we got an uphill battle to go.
Yeah, man, I hear you. It's definitely gonna be an uphill battle. Before we do let you go, I gotta ask you though, what is your big plan for Ripple Wellness when you guys open up in Connecticut? How are you going to stand out from everyone else that's going to be up in here? And trust me, there's a lot of people already planning on opening around here. How are you going to compete with these other big name, out here in Connecticut itself when you open? What's your plan?
In Connecticut, we're really looking forward to just keeping it authentic and doing what I've learned how to do since I was a young kid, and that's grow weed that I love, and I really hope that the public will love it too. You know, it's our genetics, our cultivation practices, our techniques are true to the proof in the pudding as the consumer. It's not a business tactic or a corporate takeover, a regulatory capture type of model. What I'm doing is growing the best weed I can every day, and exploring genetics, exploring diversity. And we're working on projects now in my pollination and genetic rooms that the seeds and fruits of those labels will be available to the Connecticut market, come 2024, 2025. These breeding pollination rounds that we're doing. One really cool one that we are excited for that will absolutely keep us apart from the market in Connecticut is Granddaddy Purple licensed genetics project. We're working with Ken S., the founder of Granddaddy Perp Genetics. He's one of the key holders, per se, of the original cut there, and some of his genetic stock. We've selected a male with him from Granddaddy Perp, the original variety. We're crossing back to all 80 of our staple strains that we grow here in Maine, and those will all be available come 2024, 2025 as we search through them, find the kind of the winners, the gems for the market down there in Connecticut. So
what a hunt. That's going to be wild, man.
I'll say that sounds amazing. Yo, Ripple, Tyler, thank you for joining us, bro. Appreciate you coming on. We'll have to have you on again. There's something more I want to ask you, and we'll definitely get you on again and talk more about this whole thing.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate all you guys, and yeah, we really look forward to getting to know Connecticut again.
Right on, man. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.
Have a great night, guys.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mark Kazinec from High Times. Don't go anywhere. It's To Be Blunt.
Hey, Pat, what's so funny, man? Trying to pass this hitty over there on your phone. We need to get up out of here. I told Alicia your new name was Nasty Man. Nasty Man? She was like, oh, my God. Oh, come on, Pat. We got to spark this up and get down to the club.
Came to the club smelling like a pound of purple. Came to the club smelling, came to the club smelling like a pound of purple. Smelling like a pound of purple. Came to the club smelling like a pound of purple. Came to the club smelling, came to the club smelling like a pound of purple. Smelling like a pound of purple.
Step up in the club, no mean mugs, just some stairs. Everybody wondering what's that smell up in the air. I can testify it's probably me, no I cannot lie. I'll be smoking purple till the day that I fucking die. Check my eyes, squinting like a Chinaman. I scope the room, anybody grilling me will be the first to meet they do. I don't give a fuck, I'm on Patron and Goose, I'm fired up. Right after I knock you out, I sit on down and fire up. Yup, there's no need for talking, word and pranks is what I'm barking. Mix it all together equals disability of walking. Hate them girls that be stalking, I can stand the crazy bitch. Get them out my face and then I roll it up and take a hit. After draft picks, when we burn the fucking best. Bring it start to my house and we out to make a fucking mess. We don't stand in line with VIP cause we be on request. Yeah, I smell like purple and the girl is just a bit obsessed.
Came to the club smelling like a pound of purple. Came to the club smelling, came to the club smelling like a pound of purple. Smelling like a pound.
This is the one above all. Your House of Glory World Champion and the Soul CZW World Tag Team Champion. And you're tuned into another episode of To Be Blunt with Peezy.
To Be Blunt Podcast. We are back. Of course, joining me, Porno Lou and Chris, we are live in the house. Shout out Tyler from Ripple Wellness. That was dope. Yeah. Dope interview. My man clearly has a wealth of knowledge to be giving out. So make sure you check out Ripple Wellness on Instagram if you don't already. Let's bring in, I'm so excited for this, the main event, High Times, Director of Events and Competitions. This is big right here. Mark Kazinec, welcome to the show, brother. Sorry, we're he's got the
Yes.
cup. He's got the cup. Sorry, we're running a little late. We got to get that tech difficulty
Love
set
it.
for the show. My man, appreciate you being patient. Is that the actual cannabis cup? Is that a cup? That is the cup.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Bright, shiny, heavy.
shit, somebody right
You
there
need
on
two
the
hands
show.
for this.
This
Oh,
is like
shit.
dreams right here. There is literally the cannabis cup right here on the show screen. I mean, this is incredible.
I've had grown
Absolutely
men cry in
incredible.
my arms after receiving this.
I want to cry just looking
I
at it.
believe you.
I literally would like to cry just from looking at it because as a cannabis smoker, right? Growing up, it was always about the cannabis cup. Like that was like the one event you always wanted to go to was the High Times Cannabis Cup. I mean, granted, it was probably like one of the only ones back in the day, but I mean, it was the place to be. So seeing the cup right here up close in person, that was amazing.
And this, I mean, the iteration of the trophy has changed over the years since the 80s, but this is the most new and improved version, which we're very proud of. It is hefty, heavy, large. It's unstoppable.
I think it's dope. Can you smoke out of it? Because
pretty
that
cool.
would be a real topper right there.
You can eat cereal out of it. You can pack a bowl and put a little carb at the bottom, whatever you want to do.
Now you're talking my language.
He's crazy.
Just turn it into a straight bong. Like that would be dope.
Exactly.
I just can't believe we're doing this right now. Mark Kazinec, my man. First off, I know we're here to promote Biz Bash. Biz Bash 4.0 happening next Thursday in Las Vegas at Brooklyn Bowl, featuring, and get this, guys, Method Man and Redman performing live. That's going to be super fucking dope. This is my first time going to BizCon, and it's also going to be my first time going to Biz Bash. So, like, let's just start right there. What can people expect from Biz Bash who have never been? Because I need to know what I'm getting myself into.
Well, it's the best party at all of the MJ BizCon parties. Brooklyn Bowl, 2 levels of bowling alleys, drinks flowing, hors d'oeuvres passing, blunts on the outdoor terrace. We got the High Time Squad there. We got the suits from all the top companies. We got the heady guys rolling up donuts. We got the hippie squad. We got the 50-year-olds, the 21-year-olds, you name it.
We got
You're going to see everybody there.
What are the
Yeah,
donuts?
we got everybody.
Donuts. You had me at donuts. I'm trying this to go back, and I'm pulling a home over it like, you know. Yeah.
You know, like donuts. It's like the trendy pre-roll with the donut of concentrate in the middle. You got to get up on this game. We got to get Connecticut up on this.
Dude, that's something Ganja Gal.
By the way,
oh, you just called us out.
Which, by the way, appreciate you guys having me on. Big fan of Connecticut. I went to school in New York, and I used to go to Madison, Old Saybrook, New Haven all the time.
Yes.
Going to Pepe's Pizza.
Oh.
And,
now you're speaking.
is that a good O? Is that a
yeah?
bad O?
No, that's a good O.
Yeah, I used to get that clam pizza.
There.
Holy shit!
Exactly. So a lot of my good friends, we used to smoke blunts cruising through the back roads of Connecticut.
We got a phone call real quick coming in. Let's take it if you don't mind. To be blunt, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hi, what's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's Brandon. I'm calling from Florida.
What's up, Brandon?
What's up?
Is this my Brandon?
That guy Mark, he's the man.
Brandon, all right.
Who is this?
Never heard of him.
Brandon from Florida.
Yo, is this 954 Brandon?
954.
Yeah.
Fall on the floor.
This when you said
catch us up, Mark. What's happening?
954 Brandon, what's up?
What is the 954 area code in Florida?
That's South Florida.
What is it? Weston?
Fort
Weston.
Lauderdale.
Weston. He sounds like McLovin, dude.
The Everglades. The Everglades.
Weston.
McLovin.
Dude, you are the McLovin, Brandon.
So Brandon, if I think it's the Brandon that we're talking about.
Brandon on the side of McLovin.
So Brandon's a super smoker out of Florida. Also runs My Buddy Pins, which is the hottest new pins of weed that you can get out in the world.
What are they called? Buddy pins?
Yeah, My Buddy Pins.
My
it's like
Buddy
little ornaments
Nice.
of weed nugs. It's super cool, super fun.
Okay.
Everybody loves them.
And
Appreciate
that
you tuning in, Brandon.
Say that again.
Appreciate you tuning in. You sound
How
nice.
are you
guy's
right
the
now,
best.
Brandon? How
This
fucking
guy's the
high are
best.
you?
Can I have
Guy's the
some of
best.
whatever you're
I want what this guy's smoking. 100%, Chris, and I'm with you.
trying?
It's the buddy
He's got
pin,
that
man.
good
What
smoke.
can I say? I'm pinned. I'm
Yes.
pinned up.
Pin.
Down right now.
I'm pinned out.
Oh,
my
that's
brother.
This is a hell of a way to market yourself, man. I'm
This is
down.
a great way
I
to
support
start this
this.
interview right now.
Hey, you guys are the best. You
A
guys are the
plus.
best. Man.
Listen, I appreciate you
love
calling in, Brandon.
I
Hey,
love it.
Brandon, real quick before you go, buddy. 954.
954.
954.
Smoking till I fall on the floor.
Yeah.
Back.
I'll see you
Crack
guys.
your mama's back.
Hey, have a good one, guys. Have a good night.
Later, Brandon.
Oh my God! All right,
That's cute.
we were talking about donuts and biz bash, and then your buddy Brandon definitely came in and threw a wrench in the spoke.
Hey, you wanted to answer the call.
All right, well, listen. Usually that was worth it if you ask me. I thought that
Yeah,
was
I liked
amazing.
it.
This guy was baked
I
as
liked
fuck.
Hopefully
Biz-
Brandon shows up to BizCon, to BizBash, because I would love to have him there. But yeah, no, it's going to be a really fun night. I'll be there with, again, the whole High Time squad, and it's going to be probably 3,000 people.
Holy shit.
We definitely recommend people showing up early because every year we do this event, there are lines out the door, and everybody, of course, gets upset because they're entitled and they feel like they should get in when they show up late. Not going to happen. Get
Don't you
there
know who I
early
am?
or
So what
Yeah,
time
that's-
should I arrive?
Peezy, you should show up at, let's say 8:30, 9 o'clock.
8:30, 9 o'clock. All right.
Yeah.
I might show
look,
close.
we never know, but once we announced Method Man at Redman, GA tickets sold out. VIP tickets skyrocketed through the roof. We opened up a couple more tickets, and we might open up a little bit more. But yeah, we got to make sure certain people get in, and then everybody else who isn't, working with us, they can wait in line until other people leave and filter in.
Well, I got one of those standard GA tickets. I am not VIP, so I'll be showing up there
We'll
as
talk.
early as possible.
We'll talk, Peezy. We'll talk.
All right, we can talk. We can talk after the show.
We'll talk
after the show.
We'll talk after the
My
show.
man, no, Mark
Convince him to
Kazinec,
take
bro.
me. No.
Hey, listen, you can fit in my
Go, Chris.
suitcase. All right, I'll just stuff you in the suitcase. And
It's
you
part of
can
the
come in.
carry-on.
Yeah, that's right on the carry-on. Fuck the clothes. I'll just wear the same thing for 3 days.
Fine. We'll shop when we're there.
Smell like weed anyway. It's not gonna smell like anything bad. It'll just be weed.
Yeah,
But
you're good.
Mark, bro, how did we get into cannabis? Let's talk about your story. I'm fascinated by you. I've always wanted to talk to somebody from High Times. You seem like a super cool dude. And I read up about you. I did my research before you came on, and I'm just fascinated about this transition in life that you've taken from different careers leading you to here in High Times. So let's take it back in the day, all right? Let's move it back. I want to start with this one question. When did you first smoke weed?
13 years old in a barn in Ohio.
So, is there a good story for that? Like,
It's not super exciting, but yeah, I was with, I grew up as a young skateboarder, and I had an awesome older brother, so I would hang out with a lot of older people growing up. So, out late skateboarding, hanging out with some older kids. We went back after a day of skateboarding, and we're at a random little barn of the friends, hanging out, middle of nowhere. They're smoking some weed. I come in, they're like, "Oh shit," and I'm like, "Smells kind of nice." Or smells interesting. And then they offered me a bowl. They showed me how to do it. They were cool about it. It wasn't, one of those typical stories where they're like, yo, chug this bong and milk it. I didn't have an edible. So, hear all those horror stories. I actually had a pretty good experience with some good friends taking it slow with me, taking a small hit of some, whatever weed we could find in Ohio.
I am so jealous.
Felt a little bit of high, felt just relaxed, felt good, felt giddy. And that was the first time I smoked. And then I slowly got more into it. And then by, senior year of high school, I was rolling up some of the best joints in my high school and cruising around the back roads of Aurora, Ohio. Smoking weed. And, yeah.
I was the weed in Ohio then.
We used to get some good weed from Canada back then.
Shit. Okay.
Some Beasters. And then, always had some classics. Blue Dream, the classic Beasters, had some Northern Lights, some Blue Dream. But yeah, it was really just, had some friends who were connected and were able to get it. Obviously, all traditional market.
Beasters were such a giant part of my upbringing and my introduction to cannabis. Like when I first started smoking, like Beasters was like the high grade around here. Like if you had Beasters, you were the fucking man. You know what I mean? You were the motherfucking man. You got Beasters, bro. I'm coming on over.
Like, oh, you got Beasters?
Yo, that's right, dude. I mean, that's
like
it. Like
flashbacks to 1996 or something.
Yes, dude. The Beasters was always literally like the biggest part of when I was coming up and into cannabis, dude. I'm so happy you said like you brought back so many memories right now that I'm just flowing through my head because I haven't heard the name in a while. Beasters, bro.
I'm here to bring back good memories of your childhood.
Right? Of our childhood, like the nostalgia.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
Exactly.
Forget your childhood. Let's talk about mine. No, I'm just kidding.
Perfect.
This more from
that's my
therapy session.
We could do that. Everybody needs therapy. Everybody needs therapy.
I got a couch right over here. I'll tell you what. You guys can be my therapist. As long as I can smoke all the time.
You're working through.
When you come to Vegas, we'll set aside some time to sit on the couch and hear out your deepest childhood traumas.
You are so good to me. I don't know why. This is great. This is great. 13 years old.
So that's my first time smoking. That is my experience.
13, young man.
And now here we are today. Young. Yeah, been smoking like 20 years straight, nonstop. I should probably take a break. See how that would affect me. Probably bring dreams back. I dream less at night because of smoking weed. I think everybody does. So,
I haven't had a dream in 20 years, bro.
You're telling me or asking me?
I'm telling you, I haven't had a dream in 20 years. I'm so happy you brought that up. I say it all the time to people. People think I'm crazy. I'm like, I haven't had a legit dream in probably at least, and maybe that was an exaggeration, but at least a decade that I can remember. No dreams. Just go to sleep. It's black. I wake up. I'm good to go. Smoking again.
Exactly. It helps me sleep, doesn't help me dream. So I think it's good for everybody to play around with, having a sober night and seeing some dreams, vivid dreams. But I love smoking weed. It's something that I like to do at the end of, a work day, tell everybody to fuck off and I can disconnect from my day and do my own thing, smoke some weed, cook a good meal, stare out the window, go skateboarding, whatever it is.
That's just a crazy life, bro. Just to be able to that's just your thing now. You work at High Times. Like,
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Well, before High Times, you were managing talent. You were with a talent agency.
Yeah. So, went to college in New York, had a blast, got a degree in marketing and promotions and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Got a suit and tie traditional marketing job in Midtown Manhattan, big high rise, yada, yada, yada. It was so boring. Everybody was just basic people from all, whitewashed neighborhood, suburban, whatever else, which isn't bad, but they were just like not interesting people. And I definitely felt like an outsider. Got fed up with that job. And then back when I was in school, I was helping manage this actor, comedian, musician who's still a great friend of mine today, who's actually from Connecticut. He's from Madison, Connecticut.
Shut the fuck
up. And we went to school together. He was big in the acting school at our school. I was doing the whole business thing. He was like, why don't we work together? So in college, I was helping represent him, making calls to schools, being like, hey, you got any short film projects? We could get this guy in. I would call bars, get him set up with a guitar, and we'd get a bunch of college students to come out there and sell out the bar and whatnot. So getting him gigs, we were watching Entourage at the time, and we were like, yeah, dude, like this is our life. And it felt great.
I love that.
So when I was fed up with that other job in New York, he had already moved to LA, and he was like, why don't you come out, man? Like, let's try this out. Let's see if we can actually do this. So I went out there, slept on a couch for a week, interviewed at all these different spots, trying to get a job, got an offer at a talent agency, which whenever you start at a talent agency, you are starting in the mailroom. Even if you have a PhD, MBA, doesn't matter. You are starting in the mailroom, suit and tie, pushing carts of mail to A-type personality rager agents who don't give a shit about you. They're like, drop the mail and get the fuck out of here.
Oh, hell, fuck
that was my life. Yeah. So just like Entourage, just like Ari from Entourage.
Yeah, literally.
And, did that. Got out of the mailroom and got into music touring. So representing musicians, booking their tours, figuring out the best casinos, theaters, clubs, whatever else venues to book them on. Was working with people like Rick Springfield, who did like Jesse's Girl and
yeah, of course,
classic
I know
rock
Rick
acts.
Springfield. Yeah,
you know,
he's always at like the casino over here in Connecticut. They always have him up there.
Yeah, he does a lot of casino gigs, so that was big. And then got out of music touring and got into comedy touring. So stand-up comedians, booking them on tour. That was a fun world. A lot of depressed people who know how to make people laugh on stage. And did that for 2 years. Then the company that I was with, we signed High Times as a client because, you know, Cannabis Cup festivals, different reasons to work with them. They were already buying music talent and comedy talent from us. I got close with the High Times team, and they were like, hey, you know, we could use somebody like you, help with events, help with talent, yada, yada, yada. And at first I was like, nah, like I'm going to do the agency thing. Like I'm good. Like, you know, weed's just my side hobby.
Declined to working with High Times?
Yeah, because, you know, you bust your ass so hard. I was in that game for 4 years in this talent agency world, trying to become an agent and hoping that I would be the next Ari from Entourage, Ari Gold. And then it was just, you know, it's a daunting work environment. It's so much nonsense. You're paid very little. Still a great
crazy times, though. I mean,
crazy times. I was in elevators with Julia Roberts, and you know, getting drinks poured at our holiday party by Vin Diesel and whatever other fun, glittery, glamorous stuff. But I wasn't progressing in my career as much as I wanted to. So High Times came to me. They offered me a little bit of step up. Not a huge step up, but a step up. And then, you know, I wanted to see how this agency route went. Yeah, hit that. Milk it. And then
I like the support, you know, you really stop a dead sentence like, yes. Good player there.
I'm going to spark this up too. So 6 months later, I was like, all right, boss at agency, am I going to get promoted or not? He's like, I don't know. Like, we're trying, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to take this High Times gig. Moved over to High Times, worked also kind of essentially as an assistant. So it wasn't any some huge step or glorious role. You know, I still had to bust my ass and do a lot of just grunt work, whatever else, prove myself. And now I've been there close to 5 years. It'll be 5 years in January. Now I'm running all the Cannabis Cup competitions, which is an awesome job, going state to state, working with the brands who deserve to have a spotlight on them. And, you know, they're submitting products. We're getting people to judge them, give real feedback, whether it's wonderfully positive or brutally negative. And then we announce the winners, and we're helping to, award the best brands in every state with this trophy.
It was a logical move, though. I mean, you had the background of marketing already. So, like, jumping into this gig clearly was not that much of a learning curve for you.
Everything's, you know, different companies work in different ways. Everybody has different methods of their madness. So the marketing is the skills are used in different ways. Honestly, like my first tasks at High Times were like booking the Ferris wheel and the super slide and the petting zoo for the Cannabis Cup festivals. I don't need a college degree for that, but they gave me the shit work, and I did it, and I did it with a smile, and I asked, awesome, this is done. What can I do next? And just kept doing that years and years and years. And then they're like, all right, why don't you take on the Cannabis Cup? Let's expand this. You know, obviously Cannabis Cup and High Times definitely precedes me, way before my time. Started in 1974. Cannabis Cup started in the 80s. So I owe a lot to just being able to work with this brand and having the brand recognition under their belt that I get to benefit from. When the pandemic hit, we started this people's choice model, which was essentially a way for me to say, how do I still have a job? Let's continue doing these competitions without having to do events where nobody can do events. Nobody wants to do events. Nobody wants to be smoking and coughing in each other's faces. So we do the people's choice. We go state to state, and we essentially multiplied the size of the competition by 10. It used to be about 200 judges judging all these products. Now it's about 2,000. And we create, these amazing High Times bags. Usually it's in these backpacks. Sometimes we'll do tote bags filled with product. And as a judge, let's say Kristen, you love, indica flower. You get an indica flower kit with 20 different strains, and you have 2 months to judge at home online. How does it look? How does it taste? How does it smell? How does it burn? Give us the terpene profile comments. Give us all your comments. Smoked a joint and went on a hike with my boyfriend, or, baked cookies, ordered pizza, fell asleep on the couch, whatever it is, we get all that good feedback, all those good comments. And that's how we announce the winners. And then we give the feedback reports to the brand so they can know what people think.
I think Kristen would be down
pretty good.
for this.
I would absolutely be down for that. No, that's kind of brilliant. And you had to morph business models a lot with COVID anyway, but that's something that just kind of sticks anyway. Like that works. Why not?
Yeah. So we plan to continue that and bring events back. So it would be kind of a hybrid model,
Like a
which
hybrid.
Is doing well.
So you're gonna go
Cornell Lou, what do you think?
Pull him into the conversation. There he is.
So I think
Lou.
so if I were in charge of something like this, my question to myself would be, how am I going to ensure integrity in this process? How do I approach that challenge? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
100%. When I first started at High Times, I was bombarded with those questions or rumors or whatever else. Oh, it's pay to play. My friend paid somebody off for a trophy, or, oh, it's a big sponsor who advertises with you guys, so they always win. I've never found any proof internally or externally about that. Nobody's ever been able to provide it. So I see no validity in it. All I know is that'll never happen under my watch. Somebody has tried bribing me with $30,000 in cash behind their dispensary. They brought me back with a huge buff security dude, couple mafiosos. And I was like, nah, like, this isn't how you win. Like, submit your best product and we'll see what happens. Like, I don't know if this has ever worked for you in the past, but it's not going to work now. And obviously they gave me shit for it. They're like, nah, bro, what? And I'm like, yeah, look, if I were to do this with you, this cup would never exist anymore. It wouldn't matter. So people have tried bribing me and it's never worked. So to your point, nobody will ever bribe this. It doesn't matter if you're a sponsor, big advertiser, etc. The product goes into these kits. It's not tampered with. It goes straight to these judges, and those judges give their feedback. That feedback is not tampered with at all, and we take exactly their scores. There are 10 times the amount of judges now. So in the past, when there was like 20 indica flower judges, there might be an opportunity for people to be like, oh, hey, let's all vote for these guys or whatever else. Now with about 228 judges per category, that decreases that possibility tenfold. So it's very difficult for people to try to get together and have this bandwagon effect of voting for one company. And we're getting a lot more people from all walks of life. Whereas in the past, you get the heady guys, the crew of 20 people who, have been growing for the past 30 years. Now we're getting those guys. We're also getting the soccer moms who want to trade out, their glass of wine for a joint at the end of the night, or they want to dabble in topicals. And we're just getting tons of different feedback from all these different people who have different styles of palates and different styles of judging. So yeah, hopefully I can't say it's 100% foolproof, because there's always somebody who might try to talk to somebody and sway their vote, but the chances of it are much more slim in the past, and doesn't matter who's spending with High Times.
Sounds like your head's in the right place about it. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's the whole question that, you don't think about, about those kind of things when I'm thinking about the Cannabis Cup, like how to preserve that kind of integrity. There's a lot on your shoulders, as a director, and you got to take a lot of shit from a lot of fucking people. I'm sure putting this thing together, I mean, just being bribed with the $30K with the bodyguard story is nuts. That's not something more normal people experience. You know what I mean? and you just are in charge of this this legendary competition, and it's great to hear that at least you're upholding, you know, the past tradition. A lot of people, it's easy to cave in. And if someone offered me $30K, I'd be like, oh shit, I'd have to think about that real quick.
No, you would not.
No, yeah, you know, you're right.
No, come on. When we
No.
bring the Cannabis Cup to Connecticut, we'll make sure you guys are judges, as long as you're going to be non-biased and judge well.
As part of the media, I'm required to be non-biased, and I stand by that. But that is an interesting thing to hear, because now that we are recreational, will there be plans maybe to come out here and run a Cannabis Cup, you know, in Connecticut maybe?
Yeah, I've actually been in touch with a few different people in Connecticut. It just doesn't seem ripe fully yet. What we really need is we need a robust amount of different brands or growers that will be able to submit, because we don't want to just hand out participation awards. You know, like if there's four different growers that are licensed and able to submit, because it is fully legal, it's fully licensed. So we have to do it by the books. We have to get licensed cannabis product that's, you know, checked for compliance. We have to look at COAs. We have to make sure that everything we're receiving is fully legal and compliant. And then we are working with dispensaries who are then taking those judge kits and they're distributing them to the judges in a legal compliant way as well. So if there's only a certain number of licensees in a certain state and it's only like 4, 5, 6 brands, it's like, okay, cool. Half of you guys win, half of you guys lose just because you entered. We like to wait until there's a good time where there's several brands across all the different categories that we have, like indica flower, sativa flower, hybrid flower. Then we have our vape pens categories. We have our concentrates categories. We have our edibles categories. And we even have topicals, tinctures, and capsules categories as well. So as long as we can get all those different types of categorical licensees, we're good to go. And yeah, we definitely want to come to CT. I've been waiting for Missouri to go rec. Now that's finally approved. So I'm about to finalize plans to get Cannabis Cup in Missouri for the first time, and they have enough licensees for this. So, you know, would love to stay more in touch with you guys. You know, you, Lou, on any data that you might get in terms of the number of approved licensees, the number of approved dispensaries, and we can, you know, even be in touch.
That was kind of what I wanted to ask as a follow on to that, which is from, you know, while wearing the hat of the cup director, your perspective on, you know, emerging markets like Connecticut, I feel like it would be beneficial to not have heavy restrictions on licensure, to allow, you know, more open and equitable access to the market, especially for smaller craft, you know, type, like 500 square feet or less, you know, kind of thing. Versus the situation where we're in a lottery now. I mean, if the whole point, like you said, is to be able to have such a diversity of entrants that you have a true variety and really like a wide range, then you would want to have as much participation as possible, you know, theoretically, right? So before I make this any more of a leading question, you know, your thoughts on that?
And to clarify the question, thoughts on why
I mean,
restricting ourselves to licensed companies?
Well, I mean, just basically that it does make sense, you know, from the event perspective of wanting to have as many entrants as possible, and therefore, you know, having more open, you know, you can't, like you said, you don't want to do the 6 and 6 thing, right? So, I mean, the more is better in the context of the event. Yeah.
100%. I think it's all related to regulations and compliance. You know, we want to make sure that we're getting product that's required to be testing and we get testing provided to us. We want to make sure that it has all the proper labeling and whatnot, which is also a change. In the past, it used to be blind, which I think there's a ton of benefits to that as well. But sometimes we get people who are judging our concentrates kits and they're like, I have no idea what this goo is inside of this container. Like, I don't want to judge this. Like, please give me some COAs. Please give me, like, who is this from? So based on compliance in most states, everything is fully labeled. You can tell exactly what it is as if you were buying it from a retail shop. And that helps remove any safety, you know, issues or hazards that might come up from unlabeled product or untested product. So depending on what the Connecticut...
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I was going to say, couldn't an independent grower still get their product tested though?
Yeah, they could, but a dispensary might not be able to accept it unless it has, unless it's entered into the track and trace system of that state.
I understand.
Yeah.
So you're pretty tied down as far as how you can enter. It's not like I could just grow, some weed, get a test, and be like, oh, I want to put this shit in the cup. Like, that's not gonna fly.
No, there's a ways to go. He's absolutely right. There's definitely a long road ahead, I think, here before we'd be able to have the necessary, growth for that to happen. But hopefully someday it can, and hopefully it can happen in the context of more fair access to the market and more of a chance for the small fries. Always got to fight the fight.
Agreed.
For them.
And most of the small fries have the best weed. That's all they're focusing on. They're not
exactly
spinning their head on marketing and expansion and whatever else. They're just like, cool, I got 10,000 square foot of canopy or 2,500, and I'm just growing some great weed. Test it out. Let me know. So I would love to do that. It's not always compliant, and we could, as a company like High Times, we have to be super strict on compliance. Otherwise, we'll get sued or whatever happens,
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to go into these states, work with the licensed companies to enter the cup, and then make friends with the cool underground guys or the medical guys who will then take us out for a nice blunt, and we'll treat them to dinner and hang out.
See, that's
let's do
that's
that when
cool.
I come to
That's where like real knowledge comes from. So like, this is just kind of an oddball question from, do you see like a trend of like organic versus salts for like terpene production or is that like something you're seeing it occurring more lately?
In terms of people entering into the cup, or just in general?
Just, I don't know. I mean, I guess in either case, I
think in general, I love anything living soil related. I've seen some of the best terpene profiles, the best flavor coming from that. And when people enter that, I think it's when people create it, I think it's very important for them to point that out. There's a great brand called Dutch Botanicals out of Colorado that has gold foil stickers on their packaging just saying living soil, so that it stands out and people can start to educate themselves on really what that means and why it could be better.
And they're allowed to do that, like, of their own volition. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
in most states you'll have to submit your packaging and labeling for approval, but yes, that's what they have.
I'm always in favor of more disclosure, more just, tell us as much as, informed and educated consumer and patient basically is what I advocate for. So love it.
Exactly.
Love the idea of that.
Yeah. So I think pointing that out is important. Pointing out terpene profiles on products is important, which a lot of people do not do. And I think that's due to just either A, lack of education, or B, lack of how shoppers are shopping right now. The majority of people don't know what terpenes are, and they're going in, they're just like, cool, what's an indica, what's a sativa, what's a hybrid, which will slowly fade away,
or just give me the highest THC content, whatever you got, the strongest shit, and then you're not even getting the benefits of it.
Exactly. And High Times, we just put an article under our new brand Weirdos talking about why high THC percentage is just a myth. And it's always tough, different labs will produce different results, and who knows what's putting out what lab results. But in any case, terpene profiles should be listed on products. We see that in some states, we don't see it in other states. And then furthermore, in terms of the cup, I want to get away from sativa, hybrid, and indica. I want to start doing more things that are terpene profile based, or things like, to your point, Lou, like here's a category for organics and living soils, here's for salts, etc., or certain canopy sizes. But it's about being able to prove that and having some substantial documentation saying, okay, yes, this is living soil and you didn't lie to us, or yes, you do only have 5,000 square feet.
there's
overhead. But it's more so like, if I have a category, we look at COAs and say, okay, yes, this should go into the sativa flower category. if we're doing that with a cannabis space, we need to have some type of documentation saying this is a grow. They only have $5,000 or 5,000 feet of square footage. That's what they're licensed as, or they're only using living soils. And sometimes that's not always easy to prove or to trust if somebody's just like, yeah, no, we're living soil. Cool. Let me toss this in.
You're demonstrating exactly what my previous question was about. I mean, you're exhibiting that right now. I love that. That's where your head goes immediately in that scenario. I love it. Maintain that integrity and keep them honest. Keep them honest and get the get the evidence if it ends up being viable. Like you said, it is. There's significant labor involved. It's not a free. There's trade-offs like anything else. So if it ends up being something that you determine to be viable, I think that would be a great way to kind of drive education. Like trickle down style, because people pay attention to something with a high profile. They see, hey, they're not talking about it in these terms anymore. They're talking about it in a little bit more complexity and depth, and that's a way to, that's a way to make it seem cool to educate yourself about these things. You don't want to be left behind, so maybe I'm always thinking about ways to incentivize education around cannabis. So having an event like the Cup, be able to do that, hopefully someday. If it works out, I'd love to see it. Love the idea.
Hell yeah.
I think it will work out. I think it's just a year out.
Right on.
A year out? Shit. Sign me the fuck up. Let's go. Chris, do you have any questions before I take some audience questions?
No, hop into the audience questions. I was kind of popping in as I had them, so I'm good.
All right. Did you have something, Mark, before I drop some viewer comments here?
No, I was gonna say I see Kyla asking how to become a Cannabis Cup judge.
That's the first thing I was gonna get at. Yep.
Yeah. So nowadays it's people's choice, which is open to everybody. So we typically create 2,000 to 3,000 judge kits in each state, about 200 per category, usually 10 to 15 categories. And then we distribute them to 20 to 30 dispensaries across the state where anybody is eligible to judge. Some people like that, some people don't, but in the past, when we only had 200 kits, we would have an application process and we would get thousands of people trying to get to become a judge. And we'd say, nah, you're not you. Okay, you. And people would be like, what the hell? How do I become a judge? So now with 10 times the amount of judge kits, we're making it open to the public. First come, first serve. We get lines of people waiting outside of the dispensaries ready to get their kits. And again, it's a bunch of different unique people. We sometimes do recreational categories, and then sometimes we do medical specific categories for medical patients only, so they can have their own bags for their needs. But yeah, first come, first serve. Ton of people can get there, and I always recommend getting there as soon as you can. We get people waiting in line at 5 a.m. for a dispensary to open at 7 a.m. And then me and my team will usually be there. We're hanging out. We're tossing out high time swag. We're taking photos of people, asking them what they're going to judge, how they're going to judge, and making sure they will judge with detailed comments. We don't want idiots who just say, yeah, got me high. Tell us what you smelled.
It's not helpful.
What you saw. How did you grind it up and put it into a joint? Did you, put it into a bong? We want to know everything so that we can give that right back to the brands who put their heart and soul into submitting those products.
So basically,
yeah, it was killer, man.
Is
killer.
Really high.
Keep a fucking journal and you fill that shit out for like the next 2 months. I want to pick back off her question though, real quick. Do you have to live in the state you're holding it in to be a judge?
Yes.
Okay.
Exceptional question and answer.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's we're all cannabis enthusiasts here. Who cares? Screw the feds. But yeah, you shouldn't be taking cannabis across state lines. That's the law. Do we see people? There's reciprocity in certain states. So somebody in Illinois might be able to use a medical card in Michigan. So we definitely see people coming across state lines. We just hope that they're staying within the state and being safe and legal and judging from the comfort of somebody else's place within that state. But yes, we see a lot of people from different places. I mean, especially Michigan, we get people from all around the Midwest and even sometimes from Europe coming in just to be a part of it. So it's really, really cool to see that.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Since you mentioned Michigan, I'm going to put you on the spot here. So Charles says, what happened to the quality of the product that came in Michigan bags? It's like Boof City. Okay.
Let's go,
I got
Charles.
a part B
Let's
to the
go,
question I want you to answer, and that is, who decides what entries make it into the cup? So I'm going to two-part question.
Perfect. Charles, sincerely apologize about your experience. So
Sorry,
what
Charles.
happens is when we announce this, we typically try to go after first any previous Cannabis Cup winners that we know have fire product, because we have limited slots per category. Michigan, or let's say a purchase limit is 28 grams. We can only have 28 different strains or entries within that category. Otherwise, we can't properly dispense that from a dispensary in a legal manner. So we have certain limitations on each category. We try to go after the best people, previous Cannabis Cup winners, or anybody else that we know who is licensed and hopefully growing some craft flower or other categories for the products that or other products for the categories that we're doing. But overall, it's whoever gets to us, whoever we reserve first. So first we try to go after the top guns. We want the Ferraris as opposed to the Chevys. Once we get through the Ferraris, then that's opening up. And we'll sometimes hold people off and be like, oh, our slots are filled up right now. Oh, but something opened up. But sadly, it's not us choosing. We're not smoking every single thing in the cup and then saying, okay, yes, let's do this one first. That would take a very, very long time for us to do. And everybody would be waiting months for their Cannabis Cup judge kits. But so sometimes we get really great stuff. Sometimes we get whatever stuff. But you'd be surprised as one person's thoughts that this product is boof is somebody else's holy grail because it actually helped them sleep, or it actually, gave them creative thoughts. So everybody has different palates. We all have different bodies. We all have different endocannabinoid systems. So who's to say your boof is not my holy grail?
My beasters.
My beasters. Yeah.
That was a great way to bring it back.
Exactly. So then the question is, who decides?
It's true, though.
When you get the entries, then, right? Does somebody go through and say, yeah, this one's going to make it in, or do you just go after the top dogs and then to say, all right, you guys are good?
Yeah, we go after the top dogs. Hey, do you want to enter? Okay, great. You're taking up slots 1 through all these top dogs. They're taking up slots 1 through 20. And then, okay, we already got the people that have won in the past or that we know are really good. We're talking to inside people, whether they're licensed or not. We're talking to everybody. And we're asking, like, who should we go after? Like, who's top dog right now? And we ask them if they want to submit. Sometimes people have the product to send to us. It's a half pound that they need to send to us per entry. And some say, hell yeah, I'm in. Some say, I can't right now. All my bud is pre-sold. So shit, I'm out of luck. And once we know who's reserved, we ask for strain names, we ask for details, COAs, etc. And then as it comes in, that's what we're taking in. And then some people will drop off and we quickly fill them with anybody else who might have been on a wait list. So
that is it safe just to say that Michigan just has boof?
No, Michigan has some fire weed. Michigan has some really good weed, which is surprising to a lot of people. Everybody thinks, Colorado, Oregon, California. But Michigan has been one of our best markets for the Cannabis Cup. We get unique growers from all walks of life. They have high purchase limits, so our kits are stacked. And I've had really good experiences with a lot of the flower there. I got some here from Cannaboys, from Ghost Budsters. Shout out to those guys. They make some fire stuff.
What?
So we got some really good people.
That's fucking dope. Charles also asked, some states allow testing homegrown and caregiver products. How about a cup for that down the road?
Would love to do that, but how do we distribute caregiver product through a dispensary? Not always possible. True. If we can do it in a very private setting, we could try to get by with that, but we have the potential of being raided with all this product at any given time and then saying, okay, 10 people, you guys are allowed to have 280 grams total. You have way more than this. You're all going to jail.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's
there's a lot of considerations for putting these events together, and as far as keeping in compliance with the rules of what you can have on premise per person and the way that you distribute it. So this makes a lot of sense. I can see why people want to see it maybe distributed a different way, but until the laws or the legislation is written that way, you're kind of hamstrung to some degree.
Exactly. which isn't what I want. We would love to do some home growers. I mean, again, as we discussed, like sometimes that's the best weed, but it's just hard to handle those. My favorite strain. My favorite strain. So I am a fanatic for all things guava, whether cannabis or not. I love the flavor profile. I come from a Cuban background. I was introduced to guava pastries and jams as a young boy.
Oh, yeah.
Salsa dancing at Buena Vista Social Club in my kitchen. And
that's awesome.
So, some of the best weed I've had was Freddy's Fuego in Seattle, Washington. Their guava jelly. High Times, actually, we have our own products in California. We have a Passion Orange Guava strain, which knocks you off your feet and has an amazing citrusy terpene profile on that too. So yeah, I like some of the fruity stuff. Down for that, and I like again, I smoke at the end of the day, so I'm usually looking for something to just kind of knock me out and get ready for bed.
Next question, I think we kind of covered this already, is how do you compete?
Reach out to us, competition@hightimes.com. Let us know you're interested. Let us know who you are. As long as you're licensed and you have product that is legal, licensed, tested, etc. It's already, in distribution channels, etc. That's what we're looking for. Again, limited slots. So first come, first serve, up to the point where we're, hopefully getting some of the best people in. But yeah, I would, before we announce things, because sometimes we'll announce a cup and we have our phone lines ringing off the hook. Our sales team that works on this is just getting hit up, and we can get sold out within the first day, which is what happened in Massachusetts. So reach out to us early. Let's get you on the radar.
Hell yeah, that would be the way to do it. Will Dope as Yola be involved? I'm sure you're probably familiar with the podcast Dope as Yola.
I'm actually not.
Oh, all right. Well, in that case, that answers your question. Midnight Candy Queen Club. Shit.
But Charles, it sounds like Charles has a discerning taste or a discerning eye. So hit me up, competition@hightimes.com, and we should chat, because I want to hear who you like, who you don't like, and see what's going on. Truth, we need new laws for that. What about doing it at a consumption lounge? We love consumption lounges. We had a nice little event at the Rise Mundelein Consumption Lounge in Illinois, but bringing all the judges together in one room, cause for bias, cause for bandwagon effect, and hard for people to truly take their time in judging 28 strains within one sitting. So we want people to go home, not be distracted, not be affected by other people saying, oh yeah, this tastes good, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, it does taste good. Cool, let's all vote at 10. We want individuality. We want organic feedback in your own home. Take your time. You get 2 months to do it.
Plus, first smoke of the day every day. That's what I would do.
Hell yeah, bro.
First smoke of the day. That's how you're really gonna know. That's how you're really
exactly. Lou, you're hired.
I love it.
Lou. Damn, Lou, congratulations.
Midnight Candy Club got the guava alien cookies. Let's go.
I like that.
Charles, guava got you, bro.
Dude, I mean, the people are loving it. High Times Cannabis Cup, dude, is like a dream for a lot of people. That's the same thing I said when you first came on the show. And it shows right in the comments. I mean, there's people, this is something, especially if you're in the business, that you strive for, getting involved with a Cannabis Cup. Am I wrong or am I wrong, guys? I mean, come on.
You are not wrong.
You're wrong.
Fuck that, I'm not wrong, God damn it. No.
As you hold the cup.
You're holding the cup.
You're wrong.
No, I don't think I am wrong, though. I think this is it's a big deal to a lot of people. And I don't know if a consumption lounge could hold such an event like a Cannabis Cup. I mean, these things are usually kind of huge events, at least maybe not during COVID, but coming back to them and doing even hybrid. I mean, you guys get thousands of people that show up to these things.
Oh, 100%. So what we want to do is we want to continue the People's Choice model, where we allow 2,000 people to judge, and then we bring them all together for an award show. Hopefully it's at a full-scale festival with, we can allow 200 booth spaces for all the brands to promote themselves. And in certain markets where cannabis sales are legal, we want people to be able to sell their weed and benefit from that, which is an ode to the good old days where people would make stacks selling weed at our Cannabis Cups, but a little bit more difficult now. and then do the award show at those events. So kits go live, everybody's judging 2 months, and then we do an in-person event where we try to bring the judges together, the brands together who submitted, anybody else, and we announce the winners. And I can once again have grown men crying in my arms after handing them the Cannabis Cup trophy.
Yes.
So that's the goal.
Because that's the goal.
And that is the goal. Was that a laugh track?
Goddamn right.
He's cutting no corners here. I would love to see like they do in the run up to the day of the Super Bowl, how they have like the 7 hours of pregame where they have like the documentary style, like over soft piano music, like telling you all about the background of whoever. I would love to see that about the entrance. I would love to see like profiles of like interviews, like tell us about where your passion comes from, and like what your ideas are and what your vision is and those kind of things. And I love to hear people's stories like that. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but maybe if it ends up getting like on network TV someday, like the Super Bowl, maybe
Lou, I'm gonna go take it a different direction. I would do promo packages like it's fucking WrestleMania. That's what the fuck I would do, bro.
Oh wow.
like the big
Mark
build
is
up
about to rescind your
that
employment
would be
offer.
my whole thing. I would just build it up, dude. Yeah, it would be amazing. Just amazing.
No, but I'm on the same page as you, Lou, and we try to do that as growers are dropping off their product to us. We try to do like a quick little excerpt with them, like, hey,
oh, that's awesome.
We're gonna put this on the High Time story, and we'll put people on the story just being like, hey, I'm Joe from Joe Schmo's Farms. I submitted my alien cookies. It's living soil. We use LED lights. Like, I can't wait for you guys to try it. Hit us up on blah 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 blah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So we always try to give people that opportunity. We'll do tours in some people's grows and try to get some content with them as well. So yeah, it's great. I feel the same exact way. We want people to be excited and enthusiastic about their products when they're entering the cup, and we want to hear their stories, and we want to try to get those stories out.
Man, you seem like the perfect dude to be in charge of this thing.
Lou, you got it. I think Lou,
it's a tough sell. You did a good job.
Yeah, it's all a facade.
It's all a facade.
I don't have the patience to be able to do like all the things that you must have to do for something like this. So I tip my hat, man. I tip my hat. You've clearly you found your calling, it sounds like.
Absolutely, right? He got this shit locked the fuck down. Locked the fuck down.
The shit is locked, but every day is different. Regulations are always changing. We're always trying to do something new and improve it. And we have a lot of lovers and we got a lot of haters, and we have to deal with all of them.
Yeah.
Isn't that the fucking truth? I say that shit every day.
I felt that one haters, right here.
If you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right.
Hey, listen,
wonderful way of looking at that.
We're going to touch on right now.
Slap that on a t-shirt.
Slap that on a t-shirt. Yep. Goddamn right. Listen, Mark, dude, you've been with us for almost an hour. It's been fucking awesome. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're a busy guy, but I just want to know one last thing. One last thing I got to at least know.
One more.
What?
One more again.
Is the craziest shit you've seen at a Cannabis Cup?
That's a hell of a way to end.
I gotta know.
I think probably. Well, I'm thinking of two things. One, a fully sculpted menorah joint. Super cool.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you guys know what a menorah is?
Yeah, absolutely. I know what a menorah is. Oh my god!
Full blown joint. You light it on. You kind of smoke it like this, and you got nine different points of lighting. That's been one thing, or like a leaf blower type scenario where they're just blowing smoke, heavy, thick smoke. Like they're just burning a fat bowl that's going into a leaf blower, and it is just blowing smoke at people.
It's a dream of mine.
Yeah.
Will we have that at BizBash? Because I need to know if I can get that done before I hop on my flight that night. And take
they're going to have a backpack unit ready for you. You can walk around with it.
I will. I tell you what, I'll be the guy to operate the backpack. And I'll just sit there in the corner and just right up my face.
Perfect.
And they give you like a
I'll find you-
Ghostbusters uniform, and you get to like just walk around and aim it in people's faces. And
Dude, that would be so sick. A proton pack.
All three of you. That's getting screen captured later.
Dude, I just think this is an amazing idea
The
right now.
simultaneous looks of excitement over the proton pack.
Peezy, I can tell that you're going to have a good time on the outdoor terrace at Biz Bash.
Okay. I mean, say less. Oh, you guys got anything else before we let Mark go?
It was
This has
great
been
meeting
great.
with you. No, I'm good.
Yeah. This is
You guys are all based in Connecticut?
Yes.
Yes.
right.
Yep.
203, 860. What are we talking?
A mix.
A little mixy
203
mix.
Peezy
here.
and I are in Middletown, so smack in the middle.
Yep.
And
I
I'm
lose
right
it.
next door. I'm right next door to Madison. So
Ah,
there you
amazing.
go.
See, you guys got a
Love
lot
that.
of fun.
Old
You guys are
stomping
best friends
grounds.
now.
Yeah, I used to go
Absolutely.
skateboarding at the Daniel Hand High School skate park.
Okay.
I don't know what that
Okay.
is.
Okay, I know my Connecticut shit.
You're dropping shit, we know.
But can't wait to bring Cannabis Cup to Connecticut. We got a bunch of new markets coming online next year, including Missouri, trying to bring it to Puerto Rico. We're even talking to Thailand. A lot's popping off in Thailand right now. So a lot of work to do, a lot of improvements that we're trying to make every single year. Always taking, consumer feedback into play. Anybody can hit us up at competition@hightimes.com if they have questions. Donna Taylor, you're amazing. And really
Donna
appreciate you guys
Taylor.
having us. I'll definitely hit you guys up. Peezy, you got to send me like all your real contact information so I can call you next time I'm in Connecticut, which potentially may be the holiday season this year.
Oh,
Oh,
dude, if
shit.
you come down, I would love to just hang out. We'll smoke. We'll go out and do some fun shit here. Middletown's a great spot. We'll love it. So
How
we'll
far is
take
Middletown to Madison?
20 minutes,
Half hour? Yeah, 20
maybe.
minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, perfect. Well, I might
Not
be doing
bad.
Christmas in Madison.
awesome.
Lovely.
We'll make something happen, dude. I'll give you my phone number. We'll text and we'll.
How do you feel about Pacific Buffet? Just think about that.
Oh, time out. Good call, Kristen. Are you since
I don't
you
know what
are-
that is.
It is lovely. Mark, we'll fill you in. You're gonna
Yeah,
you're
we're
gonna
gonna
love it.
talk- we're
It's a
gonna-
party bus.
But either way, Peezy, I'll see you next Thursday.
Yes.
right.
I may or may not be in the suitcase.
Will you be at BizCon?
I have a badge. I might walk the floor a little bit on Wednesday. Other than that, I'm focused on our event, and I'll be getting everything prepped and ready all day Thursday.
All right, cool. All right, never mind then. We'll talk later.
Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, follow Mark Kazinec on Instagram _ mayor _ Mark. Lou, stop crying. You're killing me over there. My man's got this is the actual cannabis cup right here, live on 2B Blood, by the way, just so we know. This legit happened tonight. So I just want to say thank you so much, bro, for taking the time to hang out with us tonight. It's been such a pleasure. Can't wait to meet you and talk more. And we're about to go get even higher now. I don't know how this is going to be possible because I've now smoked a blunt and the bong. My man's about to light the joint. I got the munchies like a motherfucker, so I'm about to go take care of that shit. So, bro, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great
Mark,
night.
thanks, buddy.
Make sure you guys follow Mark on IG at mayor _ Mark. You guys, I'm sorry we kept you guys so late.
I don't think anyone minds.
I didn't think this was going to go that long. I was so fascinated. Like, this is an amazing interview.
That was great. Both
Good
of them.
time.
Ripple and then Hive Times
Yes.
after. That was fabulous.
And shout out to Ripple. Follow them on Instagram with Ripple Wellness, I believe that is. And you can follow High Times Magazine on all platforms at High Times Magazine. And yeah, you guys already know we're going to be taking the next 2 weeks off. Next week, I'll be in Vegas for BizCon, broadcasting live next Thursday at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So tune into that. Then, of course, the next week is Thanksgiving. So the first week of December, we will be back in full fucking force. Stay tuned to our Instagram for announcements for a possible live on location event going down. More to come.
Stay tuned. From myself, Porno Lou, and Madam Kristen.
You didn't change her name.
Oh shit! Well, next week she can change it herself. We'll see you next week. Same weed time, same weed channel.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
That's right, and let him go with some good shit. We'll see you guys next week.
There you go.